Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Deputy County Executive Ken Jenkins. County Executive George Latimer is earning some well-deserved time off. Happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas. Last day of Hanukkah was last night. Yesterday was the first day of Kwanzaa, and we're going to continue to go on right through New Year's, and we look forward to having a wonderful, happy, and safe 2023. We just want to go through some things for our weekly update. We want to make sure that everyone is aware of some of the things that are happening. Certainly, we know our friends up in Buffalo and in Erie County going through some tremendously tough times, and we certainly are sending our thoughts and prayers out to the family members there. Certainly, Westchester County and our emergency services folks are helping out whatever ways we can. We've been in contact with the governor, with Governor Hochul, as well as from Steve Aquera from the New York State Association of Counties. County Executive Mark Pollincott is a wonderful friend, a friend to us here in Westchester, and whatever things we can do to help them out, and certainly Mayor Byron Brown in the great city of Buffalo to help our friends out, we are doing that. But thoughts and prayers, and certainly making sure that we are working together to help our folks out in a national emergency, as we would always do. We know we're heading into New Year's weekend, and certainly we're going to have some stepped up enforcement. And again, the enforcement is to make sure that everyone gets to wherever they're going safely and securely. So Westchester County Police will be conducting increased enforcement throughout New Year's Day to make sure that we're curbing speeding, aggressive driving, and driving under the influence of drugs and or alcohol. Our goal is always to do everything that we can do to keep Westchester Parkway safe for those who will be traveling on them during the holiday season. We had a tremendous major accident today on the Springbrook Parkway, and clearly speed was a factor. The cars looked like they were split right before the 287 going south on the Springbrook Parkway, right before 287, right around the State Trooper Barracks. So it looked like a challenging scenario, but the car was split in half. So again, take your time, arrive alive. So we want to make sure that there's zero tolerance for drivers who put others at risk, especially by speeding, driving aggressively, or driving while impaired. The Department of Public Safety and our other agencies in Westchester are going to continue to participate in the Stop DWI enforcement campaign that will continue through New Year's Day. The county's Office of Drug Abuse Prevention and Stop DWI assist in coordinating joint law enforcement initiatives such as the current enforcement campaign. We're also doing, through the groups, through Stop DWI and the Office of Drug Abuse Prevention, continues to have numerous programs for our schools and community groups to educate the public about the dangers of impaired driving and the increased certainty of arrest and the serious penalties faced by drivers convicted of DWI. So we want to make sure that, again, to take your time, again, have your designated driver if you're going to participate in any of the alcohol-related activities. But again, take your time, relax. It'll be easier to get there alive than to be involved in an accident. It only takes a second. And make sure you're putting those cell phones down, because you know that that's the distractions that we do not need, and they always cause additional accidents. So again, making sure that you're well aware that Westchester County, along with our partners in law enforcement throughout the county, will be making sure our roads are safe and secure. During this holiday season, I know a lot of us got together, first time in many years in many cases, had indoor activities, a lot of folks, family getting together, coming around from different parts of the country. So we have seen those illnesses increase, and whether that's COVID, RSV, just the plain old flu. There's stomach flus, there's another set of flus that are going on out there, colds, etc. The weather dropped down precipitously last week, going from about 50 degrees to 11 degrees in Westchester County. That was a tremendous drop, and that means people are going to come up and be sick with the flu and all those cold-related illnesses. So those numbers are all continuing to trend upwards, and we don't want any illnesses to interrupt your celebrations and time spent together with family and friends. Remember, if you don't feel well, don't go to the party. It's just that simple. Certainly we'd love to see our friends and family that we haven't seen in person for a couple of years, but it's better to make sure that you're keeping family members, because you don't know what other conditions they might have. You know what? they'll miss you at the party, but it's better for you to stay at home and get yourself well. If you have the opportunity to, and you should do this, get some free COVID vaccinations. The federal government is continuing to go out and allow for 4 free at-home COVID tests. And you can get those by making sure you go to the county website, covid.gov, or 1-800-232-0233 for those COVID tests. But again, you should do just like county executive, myself, and many others have done, not only having our booster shots and keeping up to date on our COVID vaccinations, but also having the annual flu shot as well. So all of us have done both of those things. And again, even though you still can be infected by COVID or get a plain old cold, it's better to have those things in place, especially if you're going to go out and be out and about. And it's a practice. It's not a requirement in Westchester County. County Executive Latimer did not institute any new mask mandates. But again, if you feel more comfortable with that, wear a mask while you're indoors, especially in those areas where it's a congregation of people and a group of people that you may not have normal interaction with. It's always better to be able to make those events that you would like to by wearing a mask when you're indoors. But again, it is not a requirement to do so. But if you feel more comfortable, make a fashion statement, have Happy New Year on your mask and all those good things, happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, etc., that you can have on your mask. And again, if you feel comfortable, no mask shaming, let folks wear it and enjoy the holiday season. So again, get tested. We have the COVID test, as I just mentioned, but you can have all these home tests that are available. Again, we know that the flu season is here, and it's tremendously active, and we have people that have previously passed away from the flu. So again, get that flu shot. If you haven't had that opportunity yet, you still have time to do so. And remember, whether it's COVID vaccinations or flu vaccinations, those are not immediate inoculations. They take a little bit of time to get up to speed, and that time is if you're going to be at a party this weekend going into New Year's, then you probably have till tomorrow to make sure that you get that flu shot or a COVID vaccination to make sure it has kicked in as well. You can always look at the tremendous clinics that we have for COVID, for vaccinations, for annual school inoculations at our county website at westchestergov.com/health. Make sure to be able to continue to do that. And when we think about the things that we've gone through over the last almost 3 years now with COVID, we have all looked at the COVID dashboard to be able to see the things that are happening in the various communities. And quite honestly, it was the best way for us to keep track of things as it was moving around in Westchester County and around our country, and certainly throughout the world, to be able to track those through the various COVID websites. Well, the COVID website is just not as helpful with the information there as it was in the past because there's so many more people doing at-home tests. So the data is never getting to the COVID dashboard. So the COVID vaccination, the COVID test background and the COVID test dashboard is skewed. It's not really good information. So it is going to be retired, and we're not doing this alone. Many of our municipal partners around the state and New York State itself is changing that COVID dashboard because the data just is not as accurate as it used to be because so many people are testing at home. So we know how much that so many municipalities enjoy the COVID dashboard, sharing that information locally, but effective January 1st, Westchester County will suspend the COVID-19 tracking dashboard, and we're going to continue to be the leader that Westchester County is in transparency. But again, we were one of the first people to do that. Obviously, we were one of the epicenters of the COVID outbreak when it happened here in Westchester County. But the fact of the matter is that the dashboard just does not have the information that we all need to be able to work from right now. So again, it's going to be suspended on January 1st. We, again, had the only tool in stopping the spread at the virus, which was that dashboard, which was letting people know where things were heading around the county, and that gave us the ability to move around. Remember, no vaccinations, no particular understanding on how the disease worked. It was just spreading like wildfire, and the dashboard was the best way for us to do that. And again, now that time has gone, and we are continuing to work in a direction where we're learning to live with COVID, like we do with the flu or other diseases. And as director, as our communications director, Catherine Chiaffi always tells us, especially with schools, we have our young folks, they were getting sick previously and they were trying to do different things in schools, but right now the kids are spreading colds and flus around because they're kids and that's what they do. But at the end of the day, that dashboard is not the thing that's helpful for us, but New York State will continue to provide a multitude of data points on their dashboard, and that website is up on the screen, probably in the bottom part of the scroll, but at the bottom line, you can go to the governor's website, governor.newyork.gov, to be able to see that information for the COVID tracking dashboard. And we need to continue to do that and make sure that we're just staying as safe as possible. But again, the dashboard just wasn't effective anymore, and it was time to move away from that. Westchester County will be doing that as of January 1st, 2023. We talked about for a minute the huge drop in temperatures, which caused our local utility providers, Con Ed and NYSEG primary for us in Westchester County, to be able to say, hey, cut down your usage even during this holiday season because the temperatures had dropped so dramatically. We had some places in Westchester County in the single digits and negative temperatures because of that high freeze. And that's going to continue. So we're going to warm up a little. Today is in the 30s, and that's like a heat wave compared to some of the things that we were in last week. But wind chills are still under freezing, and we're going to get a little bit of a warm up, and then it's going to get cold again. It is the winter, so we need to be able to deal with this. However, we had found that we suspended the gas tax specifically for this particular time of year because it is the high heating season, and that heating tax reduction, home energy tax, is really the more appropriate term for it. The technical term for it is in effect. And many individuals have been complaining that they have not seen that reflected in their bills. The first thing that we are asking folks to do is to make sure that they contact their provider, and whether that's Con Ed or one of the utility providers, the many utility providers, as well as NYSEG, the two primary ones, but we have plenty of other ones that are out there. You should contact them first to ensure that they make sure that that's reflected in their bill. The way that the billing works, it's not technically on a month-to-month basis. The New York State Tax and Finance actually bills the utility on a quarterly basis, and they kind of true up. So the bills that have the county tax on it still, you should contact those individuals. They should be able to correct that. And if not, we're going to continue to find the right way to make sure that consumers can to reflect their needs and to get the discount that they were appropriately entitled to. So it's from December 1st to February 28th. That's a home energy tax exemption. And there were some questions because of the way that we framed it at first. It was the heating oil, and whether it was oil, gas, wood, and the county executive joked with coal, et cetera, that there was going to be a waiver of those taxes. Well, the way that it's applied actually is to all of your home energy. So if you're like me, that I have gas heating as well as our solar electric on the house, well, that's separate. So they can be able to see that my gas is for heating, and that would get the application of the reduction of county tax until February 28th. Well, some people have gas heating and gas cooking and gas completely for their house, or electric heating and electricity they use in their house every day. Well, that tax credit goes across all of their electricity. So in essence, it is actually across electricity or gas, so most places can't separate that out. And we want to make sure that everyone gets the impact of this. It was the direction from the County Executive Latimer, in cooperation, in conjunction with our friends in the County Board of Legislators, who adopted us getting into the home energy tax credit. They opted into the New York State home energy tax credit. So thanks again to Governor Hochul and all of our state legislative partners that put that into place, that allowed Westchester to opt into that. We did, and again, it's from December 1st to February 28th. So again, if there's any questions or concerns about that, the first call you should make is to your utility provider. We've been working really hard with everyone together for the calls that have come into the county office building to get that, and with Consumer Protection and our great friend Jim Mazzano, who's the Executive Director of Consumer Protection, to make sure that information is power, and getting to the people and tell them, go first to your local provider and let them know that this was the case. And again, it's not across the whole state. So some places like Con Ed, who have many customers in the New York City area and some parts of Long Island or Queens specifically, but they didn't have that information at the ready when it was called in by various people. So we are working hard to resolve that particular problem with them, but you first should call your local provider, and that'll be the best way to make sure that things get done. Again, we did so many things over the last year. The county executive proposed and enacted many things to help people deal with the inflationary times that we were in New York State, specifically in Westchester County, and whether that was the free transportation in the summer, and then lately, right until Monday from December 7th right to December 26th, the free fares on the buses. So that has been lifted now, and now we're moving forward just as a normal basis, but everyone enjoyed that so much during the Hanukkah and Christmas seasons, to be able to do shopping and just see friends and visit. But again, getting engaged and involved on our county bus system, that was one of the things that we did. And right up until December 31st, we waived fees for civil service exams. We did so many other things to do everything we could do at the county level, everything the county executive said that we can try to do in Westchester County, working again with our partners at the Board of Legislators to make sure you, our Westchester residents, could get a positive impact from what things we could do in the county. We couldn't make more medicine appear for the child pediatric medications that appear. We couldn't do anything like that. We couldn't make more formula appear when that was a problem, but we certainly could do these things. And again, your county, Westchester County, has been making sure that this happened. So let's keep working together and making sure that Westchester does the best that it can do. And the home heating oil or the home energy tax exemption is just another example of the things that we could do, including things like having the fourth year in a row of a tax reduction in Westchester County. Again, we have some things moving forward. We have the Westchester County Public Health Awards that are coming up. So those nominations are required and needed for the 2023 Westchester County Public Health Awards. The County Board of Health is seeking nominations for that for 2023. The board wants to recognize adults, young people, and not-for-profit programs who volunteers' efforts have demonstrated creativity and compassion and helped improve public health here in Westchester. So we're encouraging, the Board of Health is encouraging everyone to get involved as far as nominating for folks. It's on the Health Department website, so health.westchestergov.com, and the deadline for that is Monday, January 9th. So we have a couple of weeks left to try to get those nominations in. This is a great way to recognize your friends, your neighbors, your colleagues that are working in nonprofit organizations, adults and young folks in the community that are doing their best for public health service. There are 2 awards that are given. One is the Dr. Harold Keltz Distinguished Public Health Service Award. That's to a person or community-based organization whose efforts have made an extraordinary contribution to the public health of Westchester residents, but is not professionally engaged in public health work. The second one is our J.R. Tassone Youth Public Health Service Award. It's an annual award to a student up to age 21 for his or her or their creative contribution to public health in Westchester. And this award specifically was created in 2014 in memory of J.R. Tassone, a member of the Board of Health who had a lifelong commitment to Westchester children. These awards are going to be announced in April to spotlight National Public Health Week. Again, the deadline for applications for nomination is January 9th, 2023, and we want to make sure that everyone that you know in the community can be nominated, and let's see how great the Westchester residents are in public health. And we know we have so many healthcare heroes that were in public health, but we know that there's so many members of the community that helped out as well, and this is an opportunity to recognize them. To continue on with our work with the boards and commissions, county executive, and we've been saying this for the past few weeks, to remind everyone that Westchester County has several dozens boards and commissions that serve every area of county government, and whether that's the Citizens Budget Advisory Group that deals with the county budget, or to the various departments that we have, and whether that's the Department of Transportation, which is Public Works and Transportation, but there is a Board of Transportation that deals with the traveling public, or whether it is our Youth Bureau and our Youth Board. So there are many boards and commissions, and you can nominate yourself by going to the county website, westchestergov.com. There's a section for boards and commissions, and you can look at the various boards and commissions, see what that board and commission does, see if there's any criteria for being involved in that board or commission, and you can apply. So you can self-nominate by clicking on the apply button that's in the top right-hand corner on the website to be able to put your name in to show your interest in those boards and commissions. And the boards and commissions, 99% of those are volunteer. So again, we need that input to be able to shape direction and information. You know, our Parks Board does a tremendous job of doing that, Board of Health, and so we have so many that do that. And some of them have legislative authority, and that's why the criteria for applying for those is important. But take a look at that, again, at our county website, westchestergov.com, and look directly at the boards and commissions that we have available. Again, a county executive made it a goal of his to align all of those boards and commissions so that they expire at the end of the year. So this is a great opportunity for those that are interested to be able to put their name forward in whatever board and commission that makes you feel great about living in a great county like Westchester County. We need your help, and take your time to be able to get on the website and apply, and do that today. You know, we talked, and I've been able to talk about all of the fun things that we've had go on in Westchester County out of the nationally accredited, award-winning park system that we have here in Westchester County, and the thousands of acres of things that we have going on. And yes, we had some events that are now completed, but we still have 2 more holiday type events. So I know folks are looking for things to do during this particular week with their friends and their families that may have come in from out of town. And this is a great time to show off some of our Westchester's finest parks, and whether that is Lasden Park with their annual Holiday on the Hill train show, that's going to be open till December 31st. You'll be able to get tickets for that at lasdenpark.org. But besides that, you know, our Veterans Memorial is at Lasden Park. If you decide to walk around and enjoy the lovely 5,000 square foot of indoor and outdoor exhibition space of the annual Holidays on the Hill show. Or if you just wanted to make sure to see the outstanding H-level trains that are up there, and it's a great opportunity. And again, we've all been up there, county executive, myself, and Santa, to start the trains off. And again, that's going to be a really good opportunity. And finally, for the park system, the Winter Wonderland Drive-Through Holiday Light Extravaganza, it continues on through Sunday, January 1st. So it's most nights, including up to January 1st. And this was great over the last couple of weeks when those temperatures were in the 40s. If you had to walk around at a light show or at an event, it wasn't that bad. But when it went into the single digits in the 20s and 30s, it doesn't matter. Having a walk, even if it's a short walk, could be really a kind of delicate and unfortunate and not really pleasant affair. So the holiday drive-through opportunity at Kensico Dam and the Holiday Light Show, the Holiday Light Extravaganza at Kensico is another great opportunity. It's a car full of individuals from your family or friends, and you're driving through either $25 or $35 per car. Again, everyone is warm and toasty. At the end, you certainly can have some additional things that happen where you can get out and take part of some food that's available as well. This, again, benefits directly the Westchester Parks Foundation, which in turn benefits the parks. So Westchester Parks Foundation does so many great activities, including our Bicycle Sundays, which they have some great sponsors that work with them as well, but they're the ones that do the funding for Bicycle Sundays, and they do some other great things. Again, this is a good time to be able to see some holiday lights, and the light show is tremendous. There's some new additions this year, and again, you get to stay in your car and stay a lot warmer than walking around, and that activity will go on until January 1st. And till the end of the year, Saturday, December 31st, weather permitting, our 6 golf courses are still going to be open. I know that, there's no such thing as a really cold day for a golfer. They'll do whatever thing they have to do. But again, weather permitting, whether it's Dunwoody, Hudson Hills, Maple Moor, Mahansick, Saxon Woods, and Spring Lake, up until the 31st, Saturday the 31st, weather permitting. This looks like you might be able to get through the whole week without too much precipitation. Maybe at the end of the week we may have some precipitation again. But for those people that golf and love it, it's going to be a good opportunity. And we may break some of the 40s, temperature-wise near the end of the week. Again, take advantage of that. If you're a golfer, after the 31st, we'll be on a little bit of a break until the spring at our county golf courses to let the greens get green again and to have those obstacles and challenges that every golfer loves in our park system get restored and we can move forward. So with that, we have had just a wonderful year here in Westchester County. Before we go into something that is so much a good recap of the 2023 that shows all the great things that we have had happen here in Westchester County, led by County Executive George Latimer, our entire team, to be able to move things forward for Westchester, working with the County Board of Legislators, having a tremendous year with us, getting this Environmental Bond Act passed, with the County Executive, as he likes to say, put the shoulder to the wheel, working with our activists and environmental partners to be able to get that done by the biggest margin in the state, percentage-wise, biggest percentage in the state. That's all because of you. I just want to take this opportunity to say to everyone, have a safe and enjoyable new year. And we're going to take a look now at all of the great things that happened for Westchester County in 2023. We'll see you next year at our first next Tuesday, status report with Westchester County Executive George Latimer. Let's look at 2022.
In Westchester, County Executive George Latimer's second term in office is officially underway following today's virtual inauguration.
In White Plains, the Westchester County Center illuminated tonight. County Executive George Latimer says the story of the Holocaust needs to be repeated from generation to generation.
Welcome to Westchester County's 2022 Black History Month celebration, Trailblazers, Preserving Our Legacy.
The Westchester County Executive George Latimer declaring a day of prayer for Ukraine.
It's a near total rebuild of Playland Park in Rye. The Art Deco masterpiece on the Long Island Sound is getting a $135 million refresh.
Westchester Executive George Latimer highlighting the county's bright future in his 5th State of the County address since taking office in 2018.
Westchester County, the new proposal could help ease some of the pain at the pump. County Executive George Latimer wants to cap the gas tax.
The Westchester County DPW has now installed 160 new signs along the Bronx River Parkway, as well as painted 30 new pavement arrows. People in the area say they think it will help.
An update on Westchester County's police reform as the department continues to transform after the county's reimagining task force recommendation.
Provide the best possible policing services that we can and do that properly funded.
Crime in Westchester County is down around 20% overall over the last 4 years. County Executive George Latimer says that may not be the case elsewhere, you've probably heard, but here in villages and in big cities, crime is trending downwards, and that's based on state data.
And Westchester County has a new law on the books ensuring safe access to reproductive health care facilities. Westchester County Executive George Latimer signed the bill into law immediately after the Board of Legislators passed it. It ensures those seeking medical treatment cannot be prevented or intimidated from entering a reproductive health care facility.
Yes, we're happy. We have 41 units in Rye, 34 units in Port Chester, 75 units that we cut the ribbon on last year in Greenburgh, and 82 that are almost finished in construction in Peekskill. We don't want to be divided by the color of our skin. We don't want to be divided by who we love. We don't want to be divided by our age. We don't want to be divided by how we worship. We want to be together. that's how we go forward.
A Field of Dreams is open again in Mount Vernon.
The ribbon was cut to celebrate Memorial Field's long-delayed reopening.
Great news for Westchester County. The state comptroller has rated the county in the highest category for fiscal stress.
We've been able to both cut taxes and stabilize our finances as we go forward. That's good news for Westchester residents.
County Executive George Latimer says his latest capital budget plan invests in Westchester's infrastructure, but there's also a big focus on green projects.
$662.5 million worth of capital projects. That's what Westchester County Executive George Latimer is proposing as part of his 2023 budget.
For the fourth year in a row, County Executive George Latimer is proposing a property tax cut, this time $6 million.
Latimer's $2.3 billion spending plan does not increase the county tax levy.
What we're here to announce formally today is an effort by Westchester County to relieve some of the burden by lifting Westchester County's portion of sales tax on all home energy products.
Starting today, you don't have to pay a dime to ride the Beeline bus, and these free rides, they will last until December 26th.
County Executive George Latimer signed a new spending bill that will increase funding for the Department of Correction and Emergency Services. There's also a record budget for public safety.
A lot of discussion in the public about, do you fund the police? This is the Department of County Police. $59.1 million is the highest amount that has been funded for this department in Westchester County's history. May I introduce to you the famous Santa Claus.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays. 2, 1. Happy holidays.